Hi, hello. Welcome everyone to another very interesting race we have planned for you guys. The Ferrari 333 SP Challenge of the GAVRA Racing. This time around, round 9 on Algarve. 14 people out on track right now, and I think it's going to be a very interesting race. What do you think, people?
Oh, Bowie, I think this is going to be a fantastic race. Hopefully everybody watching is like me and loves this track. And I think with the elevation changes and the turns and this car in particular, I think we're really going to see an amazing race tonight.
Oh, definitely. Especially, like I said, with the elevation changes and long, difficult turns sometimes. It's going to be really interesting. There's one point on track that I believe our chef is coming up to right now. There's a double right-hander, a very long one. And then while you're mid-turn, you need to brake for the next turn. Very difficult to nail it properly. You either go very short and just understeer, or you go really long and just oversteer. It's the turn that chef just went through. It's a really interesting turn.
Yeah, I know in the GT3s I had a very hard time keeping the Bentley balanced coming through that turn. It was, like you said, it was a very tricky turn to get right. And I either got it right and it was okay to good. Not going to try to say I'm great, but or it was just completely disastrous. But yeah, very, very tricky turn to keep the car balanced through.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Especially with these cars with so much power underneath your right foot, I think it's going to be very difficult for, especially the slow turns, to manage to throttle through it. And I think we're going to be able to see some spins actually in the mid-fights happening sometime.
I believe we will. I believe we'll definitely end up seeing a few cars spin out too. And I guess real quick, Bowie, everybody's probably getting a little tired of looking at my map and everything on the screen, so I guess I'll run through that information so they can actually have a chance to see what everybody's actually running tonight. I have a feeling we're going to see some very impressive lap times out of these drivers.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the drivers are up to. And right now it looks like faster is the man to beat with 134.8.
Oh, nice.
I do think that the times are going to be dropping a little bit as we actually see Dr. Fiend now less than a tenth actually behind Faster now. So it's looking like a very interesting race again.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really tight. But yeah, as y'all can see, we are here at Algarve, and hopefully with my horrible American accent, I didn't butcher that too terrible much. If I did, I'm sorry for making everyone's ears bleed. It does happen with my accent at times. But I can get the kilometers and miles right. It is 4.68 kilometers or 2.91 miles long. 14 incredible turns. They have 5 minutes now out of their 10-minute practice, and they will have a 10-minute qualifying. And apparently, I just looked and I was very slack and did not put down the number of laps, Bowie. I may have to have a talking to myself after this race is done.
Yeah, I think you might be sacked by yourself then.
Yeah. And quick reminder for last week was break week, but before that we had Imola, and Faster took the first place. Alochamps was in second. Flip was third. And once again, I was a very slack commentator and did not watch Imola back, so y'all had a driver of the day, but I'm gonna now lie and say y'all did not nominate a driver of the day last week, and put that off on y'all instead of me.
I think you actually did have a driver of the day, but I just don't remember it anymore. It's too long ago.
Yeah, it was break week, so yeah, it was a little bit. And I guess, Bowie, since I'm gonna make this really fast, because I know I am hogging all your talking time as well here, but I'm gonna plow through the driver standings really quick here, just so we can get those done. If I stop clicking the wrong buttons here. How many wrong buttons can Jukebox push today? Apparently a lot. Now, Pooh, it is good to see you in the chat.
In the meantime, I did find the driver of the day of Imola. It was Dr. Fiend.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, he has been putting on one hell of a season, I have to say.
Yeah, he really is. And right now, it's looking like a very good race once again. He's in 7th right now. So still very fast lap times. Elo Champ's now the fastest person on track with 32.1. Less than 4 tenths behind is Izar Chef, and then there's a slight gap to P3. And then the guys in 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 within 6 tenths of a second.
Very nice. I think I got this ready. Yep, there we go. We have Alochamps in first with 186 points, followed by Faster with 154, Flip Flip with 127, Hodgker with 111, ESR Chef with 101, Agulator with 92, K-Morse with 78, Red 15 with 75, Dr. Fiend with 72, Interceptor with 70. Bowie, the middle of the field is really close here.
Oh yeah, we have a huge battle going on in the mid-pack for points.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top guys are pretty much gone in points. You never know what happens in the rest of the season. I mean, we're practically just halfway, so anything could still happen. But yeah, the mid-pack is definitely still tight in points, so there's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, they have a lot to fight for in the midfield. And we have Snaker with 58, ID4 with 42, Manic Mike HLB with 39, Manic UK with 38, Yuri 69 with 25, and Solo Solita with 10. And yep, that will take care of those points. And just real quick to let y'all... Oh, well, never mind. I will get back to the driver of the day pick later on in the race. We have one minute left. Yeah, because I did actually make a poll, and it should work today. Sig was totally awesome and stayed up very late with me last night working on the bot commands to get this to work, so hopefully
Good enough.
I have it to where it will work.
Should be awesome then.
Actually, I can go in the chat real quick, and I'm going to pop into the chat and see if some of the things I set up do actually work, because I also tried to set up the magic 8 ball again. We'll just, like I said, we'll have to see if it actually works or not.
Okay, well in the meantime we're going to look at some drivers on track, some onboards, see what they're doing. This is definitely a good point of view to see what these drivers are going through. I mean, you see them sliding around through the turns. This is a very difficult track. I mean, braking and turning at the same point is not very fun in most cars. And I can imagine with these cars as well that it's not very fun. It looks like Dr. Fiend is managing himself very goodly through these turns. A little bit of understeer there. Still keeping it out on track. Very good lap for him yet so far. I mean, only 5 tenths, less than 5 tenths actually behind Elo Champs for P1 in this practice session. It's a very solid lap. Given the fact that ESR Chef is only 5.5 tenths behind Elo Champs. Top 3 is within 6 tenths of a second, so it's going to be very interesting for this qualifying to see how it works out, because if you look at the midfield times, it's insane. I mean, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, and even P9 within 5 tenths of a second.
Yeah, it was. I was looking at it. It was what, just over a 3-second spread for from first all the way down to 14th.
Yeah, there's a 3.3 seconds between P1 and P12. Then Marco's 34 seconds behind, so he might have screwed up his lap, I think. Sniker didn't put in a single lap time. But yeah, like I said, P4, P5, P6, P7, and P8 within 5 tenths of a second. That is really well done by all drivers.
It looks like, is that Marcos going to be first out on track for qualifying? I believe it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, with the practice,
Train of cars coming out right now. This is amazing to see.
How you doing, Pete? Good to see you in the chat. Bowie, you too. It's good to see you in the chat as well.
Yeah. Always back in the chat, yeah. always good.
Well, I mean, you know, we have to have somebody to talk to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That right there could be why my magic 8 ball was
Probably take a little time before Joe and Joanna might pop up soon. Just a matter of time now. So in the meantime, all drivers back on track, apart from Dr. Fiend, Red, and ID4. As I say that Dr. Fiend and ID4 are now back on track. And now Red also on track, so we have all 16 drivers now out on track. No chance losing. And right at the back a little bit there, coming out of the hairpin. Tires, of course, really cold yet. Just came out of the pits, trying to warm them up before their fast laps. And the fact that No Champs was really fast in practice, I'm very certain that he's going to be up there at least in the top 5. Especially with the midfields within 5/10 of each other. It's going to be a very interesting qualifying session. Everybody, of course, pushing it to the absolute limit if they didn't do so already in the practice session. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going on.
You know, this is going to be a really tight race around this track, and like we saw in practice with just over 3 seconds separating the entire field, and we know they're going to be even closer during qualifying. Golly, I hate to try to put my foot in my mouth, but I mean, that is one of my classic moves. I'm thinking we could see about a 2.5 second spread on the field tonight after qualifying.
I definitely think qualifying is going to be very packed once again with all the drivers. And I think, like you said, maximum 3 seconds between P1 and P14 is definitely doable.
Oh yeah, definitely. And with us being just over halfway through the season, or right at the halfway mark, the drivers should be getting very comfortable in their cars at this point.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everybody now finally getting their spots in the right feelings for their car. And hopefully some very good setups as well, where they can actually push the limit of the cars every single time, every single corner, every single millimeter that they can.
Yeah, I think with it being right here, like I said, in the middle of the season, I agree with you. It's going to be very important for the drivers to push really hard to try to end up with a good finish here at the end. It's so easy to lose concentration mid-season. It's kind of like the mid-race for me. You have to really kind of gather yourself back up and focus a little extra hard. I would imagine these drivers are going to really push each other down the track tonight.
Oh, definitely. We're going to see some amazing battles going on in the meantime. Especially with a lot of overtaking points on this track. I think the overtaking is quite easy. You get a good run on somebody, especially on this long straight right here. Get a good run on somebody. There's probably a 90% chance that you can get by at the braking zones.
Turn 1 is a really good spot to try to make a move on somebody, because once you get into turn 2 there, it's very tough. It's a little bit of a kink turn there. I mean, you can manage to get around someone, but you really have to have it lined up very good. You literally go in side by side. If you try to make a dive bomb move, most likely it's just going to end fairly disastrous for both drivers. And I believe this one right here, Bowie, is the toughest for me on the track. The little double turn right there, or the double apex turn, is very difficult to get right and keep your speed up and get a good entry for the downhill on the last turn, which is really key to making a really good lap time around here.
I think this turn that Dr. Fiend is going through right now is the most difficult one for me. Like I said just now, before you go through the right-hand turn, and while you're mid-turn braking, you either go straight on or you completely miss the turn. That's what I have always. So getting that turn right is also very beneficial of getting your lap time to well. And given the fact, of course, that this track is very difficult nonetheless. so many elevation changes, so many turns, so many difficult turns on this track that there's no chance that you can perfectly put in a lap, a very fast lap after another. In the meantime, Dr. Fiend actually goes first again in the timing. Now, I'm gonna let you decide, Jukebox, but looking at the top 5 and then everyone behind, wow.
Yeah, the top 5. What is that? Is that 3/10 separating the top 5 to 6 drivers there? That
Yeah,
is.
the entire top 5 is 3.5 tenths, and then Chef and 6, 7 tenths behind. And then 1 second mark is pretty much Alochamps, Snaker, Marcus, Hiker, and Aguilator also within 5 tenths of each other, from P7 all the way to P11. That is insane.
Yeah, no, they're sitting right there. We have Dr. Fiend in the top with a 132.25. I believe that is Mike HLB in the bottom with a 134.52. So, yeah, just right at 2. Is that 2.25 seconds literally separating the field right now?
Yeah, it's
Wow,
just
that is
2.3 seconds. It's really, really close.
That's incredible. I mean, that shows just how good all the drivers have managed to get a good handle on their car and how tight this grid is going to be. This is going to be some fierce racing for tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be battles the entire race, that's for sure. And it's just going to depend on what positions they are, but there definitely are going to be battles the entire race.
Oh yeah, and Pete's saying he had a nightmare about this track last night. Yeah, Napu, this is, very close grid for these drivers tonight. Which, what do they have? They have 2 minutes left? Not too much time left in qualifying.
There's only 2 minutes now left until qualifying is over once again. And all the drivers now back on track once again, trying to get their last lap times in. Aguilator now in a very solid 7th position. And if we look at the timings, Aguilator, Marcus, Snaker, and ESR Chef, 7, 8, 9, and 10, within 1/10 of each other. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, this is going to be one hell of the first 10 laps. I can't see within the first 10 laps. I think they're going to be right there on top of each other, Valley. I would think it is going to take at least that before they start getting themselves a little bit of room and start spreading out a little bit. But with the times we're seeing, we may not... Ooh, Aguilator getting a little bit loose there.
Aguilator getting very loose there going uphill.
I don't see the field getting too terribly spread out tonight. As close as they're running right now, and the week's break, we know they all put in a lot of practice.
I mean, P1 and P14 are within 2 seconds now of each other. That is very, very close. The entire top 11 is within 1 second of each other. And then P12 and P13 both 1.2 and 1.3 seconds behind P1. And then Medic in 14th only 1.9 seconds off.
Yeah, these drivers are really stacking themselves up tonight for an incredibly tight race. Ooh, Alochamps has almost got himself down to a 132 flat. He's got the 132.18. Oh, Bowie, these drivers are really flying around this track.
Yeah, these lap times are insane. I'm gonna be honest, I did not expect these lap times to come. I think my best lap time I did when I did do a few laps around here, which is probably the first time I actually did, to be honest. My best was like a 135, 136. So that really shows how good these guys are pushing it. It's insane.
Yeah, this is going to be a great race. It's a really tight field. I can't lie, Bowie. The first couple of laps are actually going to be so tight, and we had just talked about how we both love a really tight field. I think the first couple laps during this race are going to be so tight that even I would not want to be in the middle of all of this action. This is going to be an absolutely insane start to the race, I think.
No, I definitely do think that lap 1 is going to be beneficial for an actual good race, because if you can get clean through lap 1, not getting any incidents whatsoever, and you can keep up with the pack, you're going to have a very good race. Now, in the meantime, actually, qualifying is finally over. Red 15 has the pole position with less than 1.5 tenths over Elo Chaps. Dr. Fiend just under 2 tenths of a second in P3. Then we have Flip, Faster, and K-Morse behind them in 4, 5, and 6. Egulator, Marcus, Snaker, Indeed ERSR Chef rounding out the top 10, still within 1 second of P1. Then we have Hiker, ID4, Mike, and Manic rounding up the field with a maximum of 2 seconds behind P1. That is a very nice qualifying, and I think the closest yet that we've seen in this calendar.
Yeah, this is going to be incredibly close. Very, very tight race. And like when we were talking about during the standings, there's a lot of the midfield have a lot on the line. They could really stand to go way up the ladder or fall very far down it, depending on this race. This will be kind of set the precedent for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, and I must say, I don't blame the drivers at all for taking their time to get loaded in there. I believe I would too. This is going to be a really tough race. And yep, there it is, 59 laps. So yeah, they are in for a long race, not too long, be about approximately 80 minutes. We
still have some very interesting tracks left, and I just looked on the calendar, and Fuji, which is running the 4th of June, is going to be a 2-hour race.
Oh wow.
That's going to be amazing. And then afterwards, we're going to Le Mans on the 11th of June for 21 laps, which is also insane. And then rounding up the season on Silverstone and Spa. Those are some iconic tracks there in the end. Especially now after Algarve, we're going to the Nürburgring GP, the new track, not the full Nordschleife. And then afterwards, we're going to the Red Bull Ring, which should be also really fun with these cars. Then Brno, the MotoGP track. Should be also really interesting with all the turns. Very technical track that is. And then, like I said, Fuji, Le Mans, Silverstone, and Spa.
Yeah, Fuji is also going to be a fantastic race to watch. Well, hopefully all the drivers are getting their pit strategies and everything reset. Oh, looks like Red's giving us a flash of lights. We know he's ready to go.
Lights are on. All lights are on now, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Algarve Grand Prix of the Ferrari Championship here at GAVRA Racing. Algarve is coming off the grid, 2 people already straight ahead. Elo Champs had a very good start there. On the inside of Red. I'm going a little bit slow there, losing a few positions, but still some very good battles in the meantime going on. And in the mid-pack, you see actually somebody spinning off there. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's K-Morse. K-Morse is off in the grass there. Got himself back on track, fortunately, but lost a lot of spaces there. Back going into P12. This has been a very interesting first lap.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to, it's a big mix of fighting for position and trying to keep it safe and on track all at the same time, with everybody literally running the same times. Oh, with flip. Looks like he had to get on his brakes just a little earlier than he wanted to there, and it really unbalanced his car, Bowie.
Oh, definitely. I think he just had a little bit of dirty air and just didn't have the grip that he expected it to have. And that just made him lose his car there. Still very good job by him for keeping it on track. But it definitely showed a very interesting technique of taking the turn there.
Yeah, well, I have actually done that one myself. It's the way that turn is set up, if you like the way it did him, it'll kick your car sideways, and it will literally point you straight up that hill, and you literally have no choice but to just hang on to the car the best you can and try to keep it in one piece. But it'll always put you back out on track, pretty much about where it put him back out. It's kind of a little weird one there. You get a little sideways, and you're just off like a rocket through the grass.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, as we see, actually, Aguilator, I believe, no, Marcus going a little bit through the grass there. Probably didn't plan that either, but now Snaker having a very good move on the inside. Marcus still holding around the outside, as we see somebody spin around there. Who is that? That is faster.
Oh, it was faster.
There he is.
Oh, no. He may have
Fast,
got
it's not that fast anymore.
Yeah, he may have. I know that curb right there is very it's very unforgiving. It will grab your tires and keep you locked onto it really bad. I think we all know how just how grabby the curbs can be on project cars.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially a few turns here, especially the one where Fast actually spun. And the GT3s with the Nissan, I had very, very many difficulties just trying to get the thing around the corner there. I mean, especially with the turbo kicking in on that car.
Oh.
Going uphill, you lose all the downforce you have. And just spinning it around pretty much every single try to try to get back up there. In the meantime, we have Red leading the field away at a nice gap of about 6/10 now from Ella Champs and Dr. Fiend. Red and Ella Champs are pretty much just gassed off from the rest because they're 5/10 apart from each other, and then there's a 4.5 seconds gap to Dr. Fiend in third.
And Pete's in the chat. Pete is rooting for Aguilator tonight. But Valley, I have to say, Red has managed to get himself a really good start, but it looks like he's got Alachamps. Alachamps is literally right on his tail, but they both have managed to get 5 seconds in front of Dr. Fiend, so
yeah,
they're really just pushing each other down the track at the moment and increasing that lead from Dr. Fiend and everyone else.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they're now trying to just work together to get away from the pack and see how it goes, because battling with each other too much is definitely going to bring a lot of tire wear and a lot of fuel consumption. So I don't think they want to be battling too much to try and save their tires towards the end.
Yeah, I would imagine that this track is going to be quite difficult on the tire wear. The temperatures in your top right hand corner, everyone, they are not exactly right. They are actually about 3 degrees off. The track is not 114 degrees Fahrenheit. It is very warm. It is actually about 111. I did not, that is yet still another thing that I just didn't quite have the time to get finished, filled out, but it is a very representative temperature of the track. And I guess, Bowie, considering we're going to have clouds are going to come in and out, we will see a bit of fluctuation on track temperature as well, won't we?
Yeah, I think the temperature will definitely drop significantly with the clouds rolling in. I mean, especially on the track here in Portugal, the weather is pretty much always hot, I think. I'm pretty certain it is. But I think when the clouds get on, it's definitely going to get a little bit cooler in the air. But the track's still going to be very, very hot. So I'd imagine the guys trying to get the best out of their hard tires now, because the weather they have right now is hot enough to make the hard tires actually stick. But the tire bar is also a lot bigger than it usually is for the hard tires. So I'm guessing most people are going to do a one-stop right now, but I do actually think there's maybe 3 or 4 people still trying to get the 2-stop done.
Yeah, I believe so far in the season we've been seeing a pretty big mix of 2 stops and 1 stops, and it's, you know, I still cannot decide which one I think works out better, because we've seen the drivers with both pit stop strategies end up doing very, very well in the races.
Oh yeah, definitely. I do think that over the course of the season, the 1-stop has definitely saved most people. Because the 2-stop just doesn't get that much time as you would expect it to be. because with these cars, whatever it is, if you get the right setup for your hard tires, you can pretty much be as fast as the soft tired people. Because you're not as fast as the softs, of course, but you still have pretty much the same pace. And given the fact that you can stretch out a gap of 20 seconds with your softs, which is fine, you have another stop to do with your softs, so you need to be at least 40 seconds in front. And looking at how compact this field is according to the times and shots, it's going to be very interesting to see what the pitch times are going to be like.
Yeah, I think they're going to end up being really tight tonight. But it looks like everybody's getting themselves a little bit of space, but what do we have? Well, not quite up to almost up to a 30-second gap between first and 14th, but not quite. They're still really close, though.
Ooh!
Was that a Snaker that got a little...
That is Snaker, yeah.
Oh, I guess that curb, we talked about it earlier, it is very brutal for unbalancing your car right there.
Yeah, those turns are just very, very deadly for these cars. You don't want to overdo your car in what sort of way that you can, because it's not going to work whatsoever. Especially with these cars, so much power underneath your right foot. It's insane.
Yeah, these cars are extremely powerful with that monster V12. And they've got some huge back tires and a massive wing on the back, but they really should have maybe even gave it some bigger tires back there. And I hate to say it, I don't know how they could put a bigger wing on this car, but...
I was about to say, I don't know how much bigger you want to go, because this wing is already huge. And it's already got huge tires at the back, so if you want to go any bigger, this car is just going to be a recipe for disaster. Just looking at those huge tires, it's legit as wide. One tire is as wide as a full person in the back. And with two of those wheels, it gives a lot of grip. In the meantime, we actually still have a battle going on for first. Red and the Champs still within 4/10 of each other. And the Champs now back in the slipstream from Red. Already got, both of them got a gap of about 11 seconds now out of the last 7 laps. Amazing job by the two guys, of course. And it's going to be very interesting to see what Red and the Champs are going to be doing, because these two guys have been delivering every single race. They've sent it every race. They've done absolutely pretty much everything good in the last races. As Red actually goes off there, so that kind of was a commentator's curse, I think. But yeah, like I said, these guys are still doing very good every single race. Still in the top 5 pretty much every race they do. I wouldn't be surprised if they do finish on the podium. Even with the pit stops, they definitely will be.
Curious as to what tires most of the drivers are running at the moment, whether it's going to be the hards or the softs, but I think I'm kind of like you know, I would think they would be running the hards right now to make use of the hotter track, and then as it cools off later on, switch over to the softs, but we're, what, 7 laps into 59? So we still have a very long way to go. Howie Alachamps has managed to get himself out towards the front there.
Artafine is doing a great job. He's only 5/10 in front of Isar Chef, but it's going to be a very good battle for the 3rd position. And 3 guys now battling it out for the final podium spot. It's going to be very interesting the entire race, because if these guys are on different strategies, it's going to be interesting to see which one of the 3 has the better strategy.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting. I have a feeling a lot of our top runners at the moment, though, are going to be close to being on the same strategy, except maybe different fuel levels or something. But I believe that's about what we've been seeing through most of this championship so far. You know, Bowie, once again, Red sitting up there in second. I mean, Alachamps, excuse me, y'all. Alachamps did manage to get around him, but Red really has taken this championship by storm. He came in late and just right off of the bat has managed to pick up some really good points and work himself right on up the field.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I do think that Red is one of the best drivers currently on the grid, especially along with a lot of other drivers, of course. But Red has been in GAVRA Racing for forever, I think. And he's probably one of the most experienced GAVRA guys here on track, so I didn't expect anything less from him to be very fast in this championship, to be honest. I've raced against him on Project Cars 1, Project Cars 2, any kinds of leagues, and he's always one of the guys that you need to beat to be fast.
Flip right behind Hodgker trying to close into that gap. Wait a minute. That's right. Flip had a little bit of a rough start, didn't he? And it ended up putting him way on towards the back.
Yeah, this is a complete battle going on for P11. There's 4 guys within a few tenths of each other as Heike gets really close lined by Manic there. So clean and fair driving, just didn't expect it probably. And Flip now has a great run on Heike this time, coming around the final turn. 4 guys battling it out for P11 at this moment of time. In the meantime, ID4 trying to break away from these 3 guys, of course. But ID4, Manic UK, Hiker, and Flip now all together battling it out for P11. This is going to be also a very interesting battle. It just shows that the entire field, no matter where, there's always a battle going on.
Oh yeah, there definitely is. And I have to say, you know, I did not see Hodgker close it in on Manic quite the way he did, so I can't lie, I almost squealed like a little girl there when he closed that gap so fast. But thankfully, Bowie, you started talking, and it covered up my slight squeal like a little girl there. See, you know you're gonna miss doing this with me. You know you are.
Yeah. I know I am. It's just.
No, we all have.
It's always the 2 weirdest guys from GAVRA Racing coming together. It's always fun. It always is. Trying to be as serious as we can, but it always fails. But you know.
Well, we can be serious and have a lot of fun all at the same time, I think.
I mean, we can try, but it doesn't work. We have Mark who's now in the pits. That is a very early pit stop. They're gonna do a tire change. No, they're not. They're not doing a tire change. They just put fuel. No, actually not fuel either.
Yeah, that was quite odd there. I mean, it looked like he may have taken a liter or 2 of fuel, but nothing serious. They can't be taking more than just a splash.
Mike is also in the pits. And the 2 HLB boys, the teammates, are actually now in the pits. So I think once again in the Ferrari Championship we see another team having a terrible team strategy. I think that's like the 6th race now where a team has not gotten a good race strategy. Or a pit crew. Or both. Actually, the leaders are coming in through now. Yes, they are. And the champs are red now past Mike. So Mike is a lap down at this moment of time. So we still see some battles going on here. This is Flip, and Hiker now together once again. And ID4 and Manic are also still together. So the battle has now moved up 2 positions, and they're now battling for 9th and 11th.
Hey, Darren Johnson, how you doing tonight? It's good to see you in the chat, man. Hopefully you're enjoying this race. We've been having some really good battles, and oh, was that someone way off in left field there? I could have swore I saw a car way on off into the sand pit. Oh, I think it was. I think it was that Manic, the Mike HLB that was so far off? It may have been.
I think it was ID4 then, because he was in front, right behind Manic. Manic and ID4 are battling out for 9th, and Hiker and Flip for 10th or 11th, and now he's lost about 2, maybe 4 seconds to the guys in front. Yeah, I think it was ID4 actually. That was completely off the track.
All I can say, I got a quick glimpse of a yellow car kicking up a whole lot of sand, but that was about all I could see of it real quick.
This is very interesting to see. Lots of things already happening in the first 2 laps. This is just nuts. Oh yeah, we have another battle going on in the meantime. Aguilator and Dr. Feet now for 4th position, now going off at each other. Our chef has finally escaped these 2 guys and is now going off into the distance in 3rd position. But now, it looks like Dr. Fiend is having quite an interesting battle now with Aguilator, as Aguilator tries to go up the inside, showing him that he's there. He just didn't get the move stuck there. Didn't stuck it at the inside as he would have liked it to, probably. Bad choice of words, but we're gonna roll with it. In the meantime, Dr. Fiend trying to get away into the distance very easily on the brakes, but it still looks like they're pretty close to each other. I think Aguilator is a little bit faster on the straights and Dr. Fiend in the turns. And it both just brings them back to the exact same gap as they were every lap.
Yeah, I believe we could see these 2 going at it for quite some time. I think that's kind of been the trend from them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, these 2 guys are probably gonna battle the entire race, as we actually see Snaker now also closing in the background. But that's just the thing with these cars. It's all down to setups and what the person likes with their setups, of course. In my opinion, I'd rather have more downforce and be faster in the turns. And some people go rather for the straights on the track to have as much speed as they can to catch up again. It's all down to what the driver wants, of course, especially now once again. Like you said, Aguilator now, after the full lap, is pretty much back in the exact same gap as they were last time around. All down to driver skills and setups, and it could change the entire race.
Alachamps has managed to really get himself a good lead now, almost 5 seconds in front of Red. So yes, the top of the field has really kind of spread themselves out a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Red, of course, is leading the race for a long time. They're losing it coming uphill as soon as I started talking about him, so I'm definitely going to take the blame for that. Alachamp squeezed through, got past, and is now just off into the horizon, trying to break away from Red as fast as he can. And maybe be even on the softs if he's going off that fast. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see who's on the 1 stop, who's on the 2 stop, because this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I think they could definitely get rid of if they can keep the back tires attached to the ground anyway, they could could potentially anyway, not stand to, but could potentially get rid of a lot of their downforce and manage to get a lot of wear off of the soft tires in the first of the race, despite the hot track.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I also got to point out that even though Red is now in 2nd position and 6 seconds off, I just looked at the standings and he has done 2 races less than the other guys. So instead of doing the full 8 races for now, he's done 6. And from those 6 races, he's also disconnected from one of them. And he's still in 8th position on the standing. That is an amazing performance. It is really well done.
Yeah, no, there is not a bad driver in this league whatsoever, which I guess does explain why this is top tier of GAVRA Racing right here. It is the E1 class.
Oh yeah,
or is it? No, wait a minute. It's the E1 Elites, isn't it?
actually don't know, to be honest.
I believe
Right.
so.
I do look at the standings right now, and it's been one hell of a season from the first 4 races that was. Because looking at Daytona, Long Beach, Watkins Glen, and Kota, we've had 4 different winners in 4 races. That is insane. The first race was won by Flip Flip, then Interceptor. Then it was, let's see, ESR Chef, and then it was Red in his second race in the Ferrari Championship. That is amazing. And when you look now at the second leg of the race, or championship that we just had, oh, as actually Snaker goes off there into the grass a little bit.
Oh no!
Lost it coming down, but he kept it on track. Very nicely done from him. And yeah, like I said, we still have some very interesting battles going on. The first 4 races had different winners. The second 4 races only had 2 different winners. It's been all down to Allo Champs and Faster winning 2 out of 2 races. There we go, Egalator now having a very good slipstream on Dr. Fiend, trying to get squeezing past into P4.
Oh, this is a fantastic move.
He is alongside, and looks like he actually got the job done.
Oh! Oh, it looks like did Agulator just pull the switch back on him?
Egalator goes slow down again. They might have gotten either a slowdown or a unfair position overtake or something that the game didn't like, because he gave the position back.
Yeah, it really
right
didn't.
now, Snaker is also right behind Egulator, going up the inside into the hairpin, locking up the brakes a little bit. No understeer whatsoever. Very nicely done from Snaker. Not wasting any second that you can. He's right behind Dr. Fiend now as well. So out of nowhere, these 2 guys, Fiend and Egulator, have been battling for the last few laps. Because of that, Snaker has now caught up to both of them, even past Egulator, and is now all the way going back towards Dr. Fiend.
Well, and I have to say, Bally, Snaker is no joke. He is not someone you want putting a lot of pressure on you, especially when you're trying to make up a position, for the guy in front of you.
Oh, definitely. I've raced against him in the GT1 series that we had in the championship here before, I think it was. And I gotta say, it was a very interesting championship. Especially the first few races. Snaker was probably the one that I've been battling with the most. And he's a very fair driver, but he gives no room whatsoever. And he doesn't waste any time like he's shown right now. So, like you said, it's not somebody you want to be battling with, because he's not gonna make it easy.
No, he will give you the required room, but don't count on him giving you an inch more than what is required to give you, which is fantastic driving.
Yes.
It takes a lot of really knowing exactly where the limits or the boundaries of your car are, so that you can actually do that, which it can be really tricky.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you gotta know with who you're racing with, of course. I mean, you gotta trust the person that you're battling with, because if it's someone that you either don't trust or don't want to trust, if you could say it like that, it's not worth trying to do a risky move, because you know it might end up bad. And if you know that you are driving against someone that you've raced with before, battled with before, or even your friend, and you know that you can trust this person to battle with. I've had it before in multiple league races, as I think goes really wide there. Snaker now on the inside, back on the outside for the turn. Outside move from Snaker, very nicely done. Very good move from Snaker there.
Bowie, that was a hell of a run he had on Dr. Fiend right there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's shown once again he does not waste any second to try and get past. He's got up all his way from P6 to P4 now in the matter of probably like 3 laps. That is amazing.
I don't think it'll be too much longer. If Snaker keeps up his pace, he's only 5 seconds behind Chef. He could end up leaving. Dr. Fiend got a little wide there, but I'm predicting that Dr. Fiend is. Snaker hit the sausage curb, and it really bounced his car up in the air there. It cost him some time, a lot, but it was fantastic braking from Dr. Fiend right behind him. And managed no contact, but I was just fixing to say, I think Dr. Fiend is going to be fending off Agulator so much that we're going to see Snaker run off and catch up with Chef.
I think Snaker and Dr. Fiend might be battling for a while now. If Dr. Fiend can keep up with Snaker a little bit longer, I think they can try and keep up with him and might be able to catch up to Chef with all three of them. I mean, in the horizon over there, you could see ESR Chef driving around. So he's still there. He's not too far behind. So ESR Chef is still losing a little bit of time to the guys in front, to Red and Chance. But Snaker's on the move and ready to get the final podium position.
And we're getting close to 20 laps in out of the, we'll just call it 60 for now, because it is 59. So we're getting close to a third of the way through this race. Still so much can happen though, Bowie. This is, and the way these drivers are pushing, it is absolutely incredible.
And Snaker's in. Snaker's in the pits.
So I guess it's safe for us to assume then that Snaker is going to go for a two pit stop strategy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that could work out really good for him. Though he's been pushing really hard. Do you think maybe he already destroyed a set of tires?
And if he was running on the softs, I could definitely imagine him ruining a set of tires already. I mean, especially with these temperatures. And I don't know what the temperatures exactly were, but mostly in Portugal, the temperatures are really high. So the softs just eat your car.
Yeah, they should have a track temperature of about 40 to 45 degrees Celsius right now.
So yeah, that's really hot.
It's still very, very warm track, yeah. I remember in the GT3s, this was one of the only tracks that the Bentley likes soft tires. It's not that crazy about the hards. Oh, that was close, wasn't it?
That was really close. It was ID4 just getting past.
But yeah, I was going to say in the Bentley, I had no choice on this track but to run the hards. I just destroyed the softs in just a matter of laps.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nissan also, we're done on multiple laps now, but every time our tracks, in every track you drive with the Nissan, it just feels like the hards do not work. It either is too cold or just has no grip. It doesn't seem that they are working for that car. Unless you get a really good setup for that car, hards are not the way to go. Especially on some very hot tracks, we still used the softs and they were really fast. I even remember Long Beach, a street circuit, we used softs. And I didn't even change my tires. I could do a full race with just the softs.
I believe I changed tires, but when it got to the end of it, I had really wished that I hadn't, because I just, well, you know how it is. You set your pit strategy and then it's kind of set. It's hard to change it mid-race.
Yeah.
Oh, Snaker got a little wide there. But yeah, like you, I didn't need to change tires, and I kind of hated the fact that I ended up changing tires. It definitely hurt my race a little bit.
I mean, it also depends on the track conditions, of course, because Long Beach, of course, was running in the night, so temperatures are a little bit cooler and you can manage your tires a little bit better. Most of the guys were still running hards, and some guys were actually faster than me. Because of their pit strategies and some unfortunate accidents that happened to those drivers, I was able to stay in front, which is probably also what happens in these championships, of course. I mean, it all depends on how good you drive, but you can never know what happens in a race. I mean, one wrong move and your entire plan is just ruined.
Yeah. Well, and like you just said, this is the elite tier for GAVRA Racing. None of these drivers make a lot of mistakes. They are all incredibly fast, so a lot of it really is just sitting behind your opponent. Oh, is K-Morse going into the... Yeah, K-Morse going into the pit. It really is kind of sitting behind your opponent and just hoping that they make a mistake.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Everyone is running a very similar lap time. It's so close that you don't have a huge advantage over any of the other drivers. You literally just have to put the pressure on them and see if you can crack them.
And also, like you said, it's all down to trying to force a mistake. You need to try and get in the head of the guy in front and try and see where he's a little bit slower and where you're faster. Try and capitalize on that. And it also depends on what track. I mean, Algarve has some very good overtaking points, but it also has some spots and points where you don't expect it. But if you can get a good run on those points, especially like this turn coming up ahead, if you capitalize on somebody making a mistake there, you can have a very good run. Maybe even trying around the outside like Snaker did.
Aguilator is really putting the pressure on Dr. Fiend right now. He has really been feeling him out to try to see where he's weak and basically just kind of poking him with a stick at the moment here.
Yeah.
Seeing if he can make him be weak at. He's doing a really good job of keeping the pressure on. I definitely would not want to be in Dr. Fiend's driver's seat at the moment. Darren Johnson in the chat says that this track brings up memories for the GT3 for him, and Pete says bad ones for him.
Yeah. Both very true. This is one of the tracks where you really need to practice and to know where you're good at. Try and be fast.
Yeah, it really is. And some of the braking points are so key on this track, just like where these drivers just came through at. If you brake too early, it doesn't just cost you a quarter second or a tenth or two in that turn. You literally can lose a whole second in each turn. So the braking points and all are very crucial in this race.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Along with this infamous turn right here.
This is one of the most difficult turns in my opinion. I can never get it right. I never can.
But when you do nail it, oh man, it's a hard feeling to beat. Yeah, it feels so fantastic when you nail that turn. This turn here, I just feel somewhat lucky when I get it right. Or let me rephrase that. When I get it halfway right, I have never got that turn right. But when I get it halfway right, it kind of tickles me. But at the same time, I know I'm just going to get it wrong the next time.
There we go. Aguilator getting a very good run on Dr. Fiend once again. Still didn't get past. Still doesn't get past. It's been about 20 laps now that these two guys have been battling. It's insane. These two guys battling it out for the last final podium spot. Snaker had his first pit stop and has now dropped down to P10. Medic also had his pit stop just now. Didn't see it. And he's dropped down to 13th now. Oh, and here we go. Oh, that is way too late on the brakes for Aguilator. Into the gravel trap he goes. Completely missed his braking point there and goes straight on. Has to get back into the rhythm once again. Focus is lost. Concentration is lost. He needs to get his mind back together.
Yeah, we are getting... We're getting at about the point where a little bit of fatigue should be setting in on the drivers.
The feet actually lost coming up the hill there, so these guys are once again back to each other. The feet going very wide now, so Aguilator is going to do the same as Snaker did, get around the outside, finally gets it back. Finally gets past Dr. Fiend there.
Oh, that was some fantastic driving.
Very good straight line speed. But it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to be faring it up on the straight. As I think Faster is also not too far behind these two guys. Yes, he is. So if these two guys are battling a little bit longer, Faster is there to capitalize on them. Faster spun out in probably one of the first few laps. He's now crawled all the way back into P5 to get that podium spot back once again.
By the way, I just looked up there at Red. He has now increased his gap to 14.4 seconds off of ESR Chef.
Yeah. He's doing a great job.
He managed to get out there in front and get himself away from all the pressure and make himself one hell of a lead on everybody. Definitely turning into a great race between some of these drivers. And still, no one really all that separated. I think the majority of the separation we have on field is mostly just where we saw some of the drivers coming into pit kind of early.
Yeah, for now, I think we've seen like 3, maybe 4 people already pitting, and the rest is still out. And in my opinion, if you can keep your car out this long, you might as well just go longer and try to do the one stop still. Even if you're on softs, try and go as long as possible now and just pit a little bit earlier than going on the hards, because you can see now how much time it costs with one pit stop. So you might as well know.
Oh!
Dr. Fiend's around. Dr. Fiend is around.
Oh! Oh, yeah, it looked like, did he just hit his gas a little too early there coming around that turn?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, because we've talked about how sensitive these cars are on that, and it is so easy to give it just, you're not even giving it a lot of extra throttle, just, I mean, you put your pinky toe on the throttle, you know, extra, and that's enough to spin you out.
Oh, definitely. These cars have so much power that even the slightest bit of too much power just spins it around.
Yeah, this is absolutely, we're seeing some incredible driving tonight from the drivers.
This is some great stuff from everyone. Really well done from all drivers so far. I mean, still looking at the field, everybody still is packed together. There's still some battles going on. I mean, P3, 4, 5, and 6 still together. And then down in the field, 8 and 9 are still together. And then 11 and 12 are still together. Everybody's still together. There's a few gaps here and there, but still everybody is still trying to battle the ones in front or behind.
Well, even the gaps really aren't all that bad. I'm seeing somewhere around 9 to 10 seconds are the bigger gaps, and with as long as this race is and the pit stops, 10 seconds can be made up really quick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or also added on to or doubled equally as quick, but you know, hopefully we won't see the gaps get any bigger on these drivers.
As it looks right now, these battles are still very good to see. I mean, Hello Champs now back into 5th position, not too far from Faster, only about 7 tenths now behind Faster, and still within the slipstream. So I think these two guys are going to be battling quite some time as well now.
I believe so, and yeah, Pete is steady talking to us in the chat. Thank you, Pete. And he's loving the battle that he's been seeing going on between all the drivers. And I'm with him. We've seen some great battles, and it's literally, like we said, it's coming down to just trying to force a mistake, which definitely makes the racing all that much better. Oh, is that a little bit of a lockup from Outlaw Champs going in?
I think it was just a little bit too late on the brakes and just trying to ease off the brake, but just can't. Kept mucking up his brake. That's definitely going to give a little bit of a flat spot on that turn or on that tire. But nonetheless, he's still right behind Faster. Still only a few tenths, maybe like 7 tenths now behind Faster. So he's still right there. He's still in that slipstream. He can still try and keep close to him.
Faster is living up to his name and managed to get himself back up into 4th position, though.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, like I said, he spun maybe one of the first few laps of this race, maybe lap 2 or lap 3, all the way down to last, literally in last in 14th, and now crawled all the way back into P4. Amazing job.
Allo Champs as well. Wasn't Allo Champs towards the back of the field earlier? And now he's put himself back up into 5th place, and he's really closing the gap to Faster very quick.
Yeah, Allo Champs did lose it in the beginning as well, I think, yeah.
I think he did, yeah.
And once again, these guys as drivers are just one of the elites here in GAVRA Racing, especially in these cars. Just shows how much pace these guys have.
Oh yeah, the pace and the talent here in this grid is absolutely incredible. I think if we had an alien league, most of these drivers would be in it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And there are still 2 spots left. Those 2 other drivers unfortunately didn't make it. And I think they won't be making it for the rest of the season. So I think there might be 2 spots then open for any people who would wish to join. Of course, they would first have to join the Discord and talk to everybody if that's okay.
And what else?
You're on the GAVRA Racing Discord. I think it's time for some very nice advertisement.
Oh, shameless advertisement time?
Yeah.
Oh, I like being shameless.
We know you do.
Yeah. Well, anybody in the Discord that's watched me on there long enough knows that, you know, sooner or later the shameless just comes pouring out.
Yep.
But everybody, yeah, shameless advertisement. Go to the website, gavraracing.altavista.org. Gavra has been really going through there and adding a lot of stuff to it lately. And even if you are on the Discord and already in the community, you should really check it out about once a week. Like I said, Gavra is steady adding more stuff to it and different things. He's been adding a lot of cool stuff. And on there you will find all the information to sign up for any of the races. Oh, did we have... Who was that? Oh, no. Oh, faster.
You definitely didn't like your shameless advertisement.
Apparently not. Apparently, I am hurting his eardrums with my shameless advertisement. But he's just going to have to get over it because I'm going to finish it. Yeah, all the links are on the website to sign up for everything. We just have a new Gran Turismo Sport League starting up. I believe any day. New Project Cars 2 Academy is starting any day. The new F1 2019 Academy also starting any day. So we have lots and lots of things starting up, and there's always spots available in some of them. Someone is always either dropping out or getting added on. So definitely sign up for it, and all the links are in the description below the video, along with link to the Discord channel and the Patreon site if you want to help support us. We are completely community driven, and some of the things do cost a little bit, though it's not much. Our website servers, things like that, do cost a little bit to maintain, though like I said, it isn't much, but it does cost something for the group to maintain. Oh, as Marcos has got the hover tires on. His car is not liking my shameless advertisement. Baster's ears didn't like my shameless advertisement. Bowie, did you at least like my shameless advertisement?
I always like the shameless advertisement.
Thank you. At least someone liked my shameless advertisement. It's so hard to find someone to like you when you're being shameless.
Fair enough. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Yeah. And about that GT Sport Championship, actually, we have the signups actually opened up now on the website. If you go to gavraracing.altavista.org, go to the top of your screen to championships and go to GT Sport. You can sign up there with only your PSN, your nationality, and the car that you want to drive. Of course, look through the rules, of course, before you actually sign up to know what's going on. And right now we already have 9 people signed up for the championship, and all in different cars.
Oh, very nice. And I do have to say, Bowie, I think the Gran Turismo does a fantastic job with their balance of power on the cars and creating a good tight grid. As long as the drivers are even remotely close to the same skill level. They don't have to be as close as these guys are tonight. They just need to be somewhat close, and you're going to have a really tight grid and a great race.
Ooh.
We have teammates closing up on each other here? I believe we do.
This is Red and Chef.
Yeah.
1 and 2. The 20-second gap is gone.
When did that?
Ooh.
That had to have happened during my shameless advertisement.
It probably has. I legit didn't caught up to it, except for now. I mean, wow. And in the meantime, we still have Elo Champs and Egulator going at it. So, the top 4 once again battling with each other. I don't know who to keep an eye on, to be honest, because they're both really good battles going on. 2 teammates for P1 and P2. The 2 other outstanding drivers in P3 and P4 battling it out.
You know, and I have to say, Bowie, if Red and Chef are not careful, they're going to have Agulator and Aloe Champs trying to take those first and second positions from them any time now as well. It's only a 7-second gap.
Too much, then they're definitely going to be closed in by Egulator and Aloe Champs.
Yeah, I believe that these 2 teammates work together just a little bit, which I can't decide if they're working together or just pushing each other down the track. We can see they already have the time to ESR Chef down to 6 seconds. Oh no, they're not working together. They are battling it out and literally pushing each other down the track. This is fantastic.
Oh, this is an amazing battle going on. Just inches away from each other, getting into turn 1. And Chef is now back in the lead once again. Right behind his teammate Red. Very good overtake on the straight there by Chef. It means that Red's tires are probably going to be out right now. They're probably just dead at this point. But in the meantime, we still have this other battle going on for third. Regulator and Elochamps now less than 5 seconds behind the leader now. So they're definitely closing in. Either Chef is just driving off into the distance now. Already 1 full second to P2. So I do think the Red's tires are definitely gone now. We are at the halfway point in the meantime, so I expect everybody who didn't pit yet, pitting now. Actually, Flip, and Hiker are now getting into the pits. They're pitting for their one and only pit stop now, unless they crash, of course, and have to pit again for damage. But nonetheless, they still don't have any other pit stops going on, now dropping down to P10 and P11. But meantime, ID4 also pitting in now. So yeah, definitely the drivers now getting into the pits now for the pit stops. Regulator and Elochamps are still closing in on ESR Chef, even though he is driving off. Already 2.5 seconds within 1 lap from Red. He is just driving off. Oh, and there we go, the top 2, top 3 now into the pits. And that gives Elochamps the lead of this race currently. This is going to be very interesting to watch. Elochamps now going out 1 more lap to try and get his fastest in-lap done. To stay ahead of the guys in front. Here's our Chef now in the pits. Red is also in the pits. Red's already driving away, I think. No, Red's still in the pits. Red's now coming into the pits. Regulator in 3rd. Here's our Chef in 4th. Dr. Fiend in 5th, also in the pit lane. Faster in 6th now, also in the pit lane. Everybody's in the pit lane. This is interesting. I'm trying to hope, of course, that you don't get held up by any other drivers to stay in front, because Red is now all the way down on the ground once again. Chef is still on the ground. As other drivers are also now getting back on track, and I think it was ID4 actually. Yes, it was. ID4 and 14th now getting out of the pits once again. As first of all, everyone. As there is our Chef is now getting back out on track in front of Red. And then Red not too far behind getting out of the pits now. And Regulator is now also back on track, and Dr. Fiend is still in the pit box, so he's gonna lose quite some time now. Faster is now also in the pits, so these pit stops are going to be very interesting. I mean, Marco's now out of nowhere in 2nd position.
Yeah, and if y'all can't tell right there, I believe it looks like K-Morse's car has got locked onto the track there. If y'all keep seeing that car sitting there in place, which is, I'm not too sure. It's really confusing me because the times show like he's still going around the track.
I don't know what you're on about, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna see what.
There's a certain point on the track where it looks like K-Morse's car is just and there it is. We just lost K-Morse. Apparently the system glitched or something, and it had his car just sitting in the middle of the track. Unfortunately. The timer was saying he was still running, but visually his car was locked into the middle of the track.
This was actually pointed out to me by a fellow community member from another community, that apparently Project Cars was supposed to patch whatever happened there. So actually, what the hell's going on there? Somebody spun it in the pit lane. I believe that was Mike.
Oh no!
It was Mike. Just before the pit entry, spun it around as his teammate was closing in rapidly to get into the pit lane. Now Snaker in 2nd position once again, as I believe ESR Chef's not too far behind as well. There he is. Snaker in 2nd position now. ESR Chef in 3rd. ESR Chef is now provisionally leading the race, but Elochamps does have a 51.9 second gap. I don't know how long these pit stops are, because I did not keep an eye on them. If he can keep up the pace a little bit longer, trying to stretch that gap, he might be able to get somewhere close to P1 or P2. only two people in the pits are Marcus and Mike, as Red actually goes in the pits once again.
Oh wow.
Yes, Red is back in the pits.
Oh, this is gonna hurt his race really bad. He was having a fantastic race. Is he gonna actually stop?
Yes, he is.
Oh, I wonder if he had trouble with his pit crew.
No tire change.
Just a splash of fuel.
Almost no fuel. I think it was damage. I think he got some damage. And if you look on the left side of his car, there's quite some scratches on there.
Oh, that's going to be very unfortunate if he picked up a little bit of damage. That's really going to hurt his race.
Oh, that is terrible for him. It might explain also why he was so slow in the last stages here before the pit stops. Because he had a huge gap.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to remember, have we seen Alochamps come in? We saw him come in early.
No.
Did we decide he was going to go for a 2-pit stop?
Oh, that's actually a good one.
Oh, we've got K Morse in the chat. Yeah, K Morse is saying that was his first GAVRA Racing disconnect. Yeah. Wow, K Morse, while that sucks very much, I am highly impressed that was your first ever GAVRA disconnect. That means your connection is usually really, really good then. Yeah, I was really confused as to what was going on with your car, because you were running a hell of a race, and then all of a sudden your car was just kind of locked into place there. I was really concerned as to what had happened to you, but
apparently that is something that, like I said, a fellow community member of mine in another community pointed out, where you're in a lobby and you see that you have muted someone, but you actually didn't. So it says that you have muted someone, but you didn't mute that person. You are 100% going to disconnect.
Ooh.
Even if it happens mid-session, if you don't know because you're racing, if it happens, you are still going to disconnect. Even when somebody says like, oh, your car's on spot here, no, it's not. Your car's on spot there. It doesn't move. It also is a sign of you disconnecting. Apparently they're supposed to patch this a long time ago, but they never did. And apparently, I believe Codemasters now own SMS or Project Cars 2 or whatever. So I think they might try and improve that, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. It would be nice if they did, and by the way, I can't lie, because I do have the PC version of Project Cars 2. Every once in a while, it comes up on my Steam network that it is downloading an update. Within the last 2 days, actually, I got a notification that Project Cars 2 for the PC on Steam was downloading some type of small update or patch.
Okay.
It isn't telling me what it is. It just tells me that there was some type of small update or patch, but we've got no notifications on the PlayStation for anything. But
yeah.
Oh, and K Morse is talking about what you were just talking about, Bowie. He says that he saw the mic symbol on the lobby. That is very good. That's very good. That's a great thing to keep an eye out for.
Usually what I do if it happens during a random lobby where either I'm in the practice session or qualifying when you select high, I go to my settings and then network and then test my network. Just on the PlayStation. No internet disconnections or whatever, just on your PlayStation network test. After that, it should be working fine once again. Because I'm probably one of the only guys that actually gets disconnected pretty much every single game. But as soon as I keep disconnecting and I go and test my network, it's fine afterwards. Nothing happens anymore. I don't get disconnected whatsoever. It's really weird.
Oh, and here goes Hotchker. Oh, side by side. Oh, what a move. What a move. Wow. I watched that build it up. That was incredible pass right there. Very ballsy, but fantastic.
I was keeping an eye on them. I saw them go side by side, but I didn't expect them to go on the inside there. Wow, amazing job by Harke there. I definitely did not expect it to go there in that turn. And I think Marcus didn't either.
I don't think he did either. Hotchker really pushed the limits of his car right there. He was willing to hang it out there and see what his car could take. And I mean, it was a fantastic job of holding on to his car and getting that move done.
It's all
Wow.
down to
Yeah.
how much you trust your own car. Because if you do not trust your car, you can definitely not pull off a move like that.
Yeah, no, it looked like he knew exactly how much grip he had to give up and how much room he had. I mean, they may have swapped a little bit of yellow paint, but that right there, if they did touch, that was the true definition of rubbing is racing. Right there, it's maybe a slight bit of contact, but no car actually altered its course. Just a friendly little, like a little handshake.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very clean move. Good to see that both drivers allowed each other to the space that they had, and not turn in too early or turn too late or whatever. Just both giving each other the room that they need. And very, very nice overtake in the end behind.
Yeah, Marcos you could tell Marcos was trying to keep Hodgker pushed over as far as he could to the outside, because he didn't swing all the way to the outside and take the curb. He was really trying to keep Hodgker pinned to the inside, and like you said,
yeah.
I don't think Marcos expected Hodgker to hang it around the inside like he did. That really was a very impressive move.
And if you would do a move like that in turn 1 or at the end of the straight into the hairpin, I would definitely understand it. But in that turn,
That was very ballsy. Yeah, he really hung him out there. He is. They may need to increase some of his cockpit size.
He probably does, especially the leg area. It needs a little bit of more space.
But in the meantime, Alochamps is still sitting in the provisional first with a 1 minute gap over Agulator. Now, Bowie, do you think once we see Alochamps come in and take his second pit stop, do you think he'll be able to hold on to that lead? I mean, he's got a nice lead, but this is a really long pit row. It does take quite a bit of time to go down.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. Alochamps wasn't that far off of the other guys. It was only 5 seconds. And I think he actually gained a lot of time now, that it's just around 5 seconds that he just gained. So I think he's going to get very, very close to Agulator or Chef when he does his second pit stop.
Yeah, and Pete in the chat says that Pete just doesn't trust his internet at all, so he just never even turns it off. I don't blame you, Pete. I don't trust mine either, so I don't turn mine off. Though at the end of this season, I'm not gonna lie. Come the end of this race season, I haven't turned my computer down off since about Christmas time. So by the time it gets to the end of this season, it'll have been running non-stop for about 6 months, and it will definitely be time for me to shut it down for about a day and do a good cleaning and replace some of my fans and things.
Staker now also back in the pits again, so I think something went wrong for his pit stop as well, because he already had his pit stop. But now he's... I don't know that one. I think his pit crew did not like him in any sort of way, and now has to do another pit stop again. We are on lap 37 out of 59. Might be lap 38 in the meantime, so we only have 21 laps to go in this Ferrari 3033 SP Championship of GAVRA Racing. And then I think it's fair to say that it's been a very, very interesting race. Isn't it?
Oh, it has been a fantastic race tonight. It just, well, I don't know what my gist was. I guess I'm saying I just wish I could get my dang robots to work. Stupid robots.
Probably need to ask Joe for that kind of thing. I heard he's very good with robots.
It could be.
Especially
I may need Joe to sweet talk my bots just a little bit and see if he can coax them into working. That could be what it's gonna take.
Huh.
Because I'm steady sitting here trying to play with them to see if I can get them to work. They just don't wanna seem to work right for some reason.
I mean, bots are also very annoying. I mean, as soon as you get them right, and you're happy you got them right, they're gonna start doing something else really badly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can pretty much count on that.
And in the meantime, Kmar's also saying in the chat that Snake is doing his 2-stop pit probably, because right this time he would be pitting again. So that means that we're gonna be looking at the pit strategies for the 2-stoppers now. I mean, we've already got one person down for the 2-stop strategy. He's now in the chat. And in the meantime, we've still got about 3-4 people out on track to do the 2 stops. One of them was Snake then that he didn't lead. So I think Elo Champs is one of the guys who still needs to pit. And somebody else, and I don't know who, to be honest. And in the meantime, we are still looking at this incredible battle going on for 7th position between Hiker and Marcus. A few laps have gone past, and these guys are still not letting each other go. Still hanging on in that slipstream. Marcus is the Flying Dutchman at this point. He's doing a hell of a job to try and keep up with the Flying Swede, actually. Pretty much the same lap times last time around. Hiker 1:35.8, Marcus 1:35.6, and props to Elo Champs because he put in the 1:33.9, fastest guy on track. Wow, I mean, almost a full second faster than Aguilator in the last lap. That is just amazing.
Yeah, and I just noticed that as far into this race as we are, the drivers are still running very relative to their qualifying times.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's one thing for me as well. Even though I do qualifying, I somehow in the race find the same pace I had in qualifying and put in some pretty much the same laps as I did in quali. Even in some races, I'm actually faster than my quali time, and I don't know how that happens. I guess I'm just not a quali guy. I can never get a perfect lap. I never can. Unless I'm in a race and I'm actually starting to push lap after lap, I either spin out or crash, or I'm doing very consistent laps. It's either one of the two. Nothing in between. In the meantime, we're actually going to take a look at the timings to see what everybody's doing. I know that Red actually has a time penalty. And look right now, as you see, Elo Champs in front, of course. 41 laps now it is, so with only 18 laps to go. As we have Mike on 38 laps, so he's about 2 or 3 laps down. And Red has an 11-second penalty.
Oh, wow.
And if I look at the timings right now...
Oh, where did he pick up an 11-second penalty? That is a brutal penalty. The race director is not liking him whatsoever.
No, definitely. And in the meantime, we actually looked at the timings. Marcus got past Hiker again in the braking zone of the hairpin. Might have caught it in the background, maybe not because it's very blurred out. And oh, Hiker almost spun it around there. Don't know what happened there, but something definitely happened. As I actually see somebody else now stuck on track, I believe. Don't know who it was. I saw somebody stuck on track there. I'm gonna flick it through the field real quick, see what's going on. I don't see anybody on track now, but I definitely saw somebody on track. And so you have Elo Champs now into the pits, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and Kmore said in the chat just a minute ago that he thinks Snaker will be pitting again sometime soon for a second pit stop strategy.
Definitely. Now, if you take a look at the map, ladies and gentlemen, you can see on the left side of your screen a small blue arrow. That is where Aguilator is driving right now. The white dot in the pit lane is Elo Champs. Still a 30-second gap between Elo Champs and Aguilator. And Aguilator is already running down the field, as Aguilator still has about 6 turns to go. Look now back at Elo Champs. Elo Champs is now getting out of the pits.
Move.
That is a beautiful race strategy from Elo Champs.
Oh, he just out-strategied him with a 2-stop. I did not expect that, Bowie. I figured for sure that the one pit stop guys would have this.
yeah, definitely. Normally, the one-stop guys definitely have the edge, especially in such a long pit lane. As you look now on the minimap, Alocham's on the back straight, and the first white dot you see entering into turn 1 now is Egulator. So, still a 20-second, 21-second gap between these two guys. I mean, unless Alochamp somehow screws it up now, I think he definitely has it in the pocket. This has been an amazing race. I don't think I've ever seen an intense race like this. I'm gonna be honest.
And he's managed, and Alochamps has managed to keep that gap really big. Bowie, I'm blown away. I do not understand how Alochamps has managed to do this and hold on to a 21-second lead.
I really don't either.
His pace somewhere was just absolutely incredible, and I must have missed it somewhere or something. I mean, I am very confused as to how he has ended up so far ahead of everyone. I guess just his pit strategy was just absolutely fantastic, and along with the runs he's been doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Alochamps probably is one of the fastest guys on track now, and probably still is. But faster and Red were still on the pace. I mean, it's unfortunate Red somehow had to pit once again, and now is in P12, probably about 1 or 2 laps behind, and has the 11-second penalty, because he really was on the move. He was really very solid in P1 or P2 for a very, very long time until the pits came. Pit stops probably legit ruined his race there, which is very, very unfortunate. In the meantime, it still does look like Alochamps still is the fastest guy on track, because he just keeps that 22-second gap on the dot. So I think either the lap times are going to be quite similar, or Alochamps is just a little bit faster, because the guys behind, Agulator and ESR Chef, their last lap times were 0.004 of a second apart. That does not change anything about the gap. Literally nothing. 0.004 of a second. 0.004, ladies and gentlemen. 43 laps into this race, and I don't know. It's insane. It just shows how much these people focus on each other. Just looking straight ahead, see what the person ahead does, and try and capitalize on it. But don't look too much to the guy in front. Don't keep too much of an eye on him, because if you look too much at the car in front, you might make mistakes yourself. I've had it happen to myself as well. Just look ahead, see the guy ahead of me, lock his wheels, and I do the exact same thing. See the guy ahead spin, and I do the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bowie. I myself am really bad about focusing on the car in front of me, and when I do it, I literally lock myself right into what he is doing. I will follow his line exactly. I will brake where he is braking, and like you said, if they brake too late or make a mistake, I'm gonna repeat it.
Yep. And looking in the meantime, I'm going to take a look at the calendar we still have. I mean, I've already told it before, but it's still fun to keep an eye out for the rest of the season. So we've just gone halfway through the season. This is the first race of the second half of the season. We are now in Algarve in Portugal. This is race 9 out of 16. 16 races this championship, 59 laps. Next week we'll be going to Germany for the Nürburgring GP, not the Nordschleife, unfortunately, but the GP version of this track. It's going to be run on the 7th of May. It's going to be about 54 laps. And I don't know the weather, but I think it should be pretty okay. And the week after we're going to Austria, Red Bull Ring GP. 14th May it will be running with 64 laps. And afterwards we're going all the way to Czechia for the Brno GP, the MotoGP track. It's going to be 51 laps, still in the daytime. Only daytime races from now on. Then we go over to Fuji, the longest race of the calendar. Very interesting track, and I think especially in these cars. A 2-hour race, proper endurance race. Then we go over to Le Mans, starts the race at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. 21 laps. I think we're going to see the dark a little bit. And afterwards, we're going back to the UK, to Great Britain. For the Silverstone GP, also a very fun track in East Card, I think, with all the S's going on. And then the final race back in Belgium for the Spa-Francorchamps race. It still looks like a very fun championship towards the end, I think. Keep an eye, ladies and gentlemen. We still have the other championship scores on Project Cars with the GAVRA Academy, which is actually racing at the exact same point as we're streaming right now. So be sure to keep an eye out on the new guys in the community. They will be coming out on track right now. So if you don't know, they can go back to our YouTube page, look at their race, keep it on in the background while you're still watching us, because we're of course better viewers, better racers. In the meantime, we still have the GAVRA Academy, as we said. We have the Ferrari Challenge, the Ginetta Evolution, which I think is a very interesting championship. Starting with the GT5s, then 4 races in the GT4, 4 races in the GT3, and then ending in the LMP 3? 2? 3? One of those. We have the GT3, where of course Jukebox and myself will be racing. Jokebox in the Driving Titanic Bentley, and in the overpowered Godzilla Nissan. And of course, nonetheless, we have the Megane Trophy starting at the end of the GT3 season, which is going to be 4 races long, I believe. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me on that. I'm going to take a look at the calendars for every championship, which also should be really fun. We are right now on the 30th of April. Yes, we are. But that means that next week we pretty much have the exact same calendar for Ginetta.
It's the tracks are very similar all the way across the board for all the GT3s. Thankfully, because it does make my job a little bit easier when I go doing all the graphics and everything. And of course it does for Sig too when he has to do the points.
The only difference is that right here we have about 80 minutes of a race, 1.5 hours of a race, and the Ginettas only do 30 minutes. But Fuji GP still is a 2-hour endurance event for this which I think is the first race for the last leg in the LMP3 cars. Still not sure if it's LMP3s, but just LMP cars, just bear with me. And the rest is still Le Mans, Silverstone, and Spa, only 30 minutes. So I think that also is going to be a very interesting championship. I don't know the standings. Standings are on our Discord. If you fancy joining, just take a look at the results and stuff. I'll keep an eye on that.
Yep.
I'll take a look at that in a minute as well.
Yep.
But,
Well, and when the race is over, and after we say our goodbyes, I will have it. I've got it set to end on a slideshow of all the Project Cars 2 standings, covering the team points, individual points, and actual track records, all of which Sig makes and maintains and keeps for us on the Discord channel, which y'all should all click on the link below and join, because it's great racing and it's great community. And if you don't join, then you don't get to talk crap with me and Bowie. It's that simple.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, taking a look at the GT3 calendar, we only have 4 races left before the Megane series is going to start. We have Spa coming up, which is tomorrow, I believe, the endurance race. Then we go to Zolder, Brno, and Silverstone as the finale. This is a very interesting calendar.
Yeah, we've got a good last little bit of the GT3s. It's going to be some good races, I think. And like you said, the Megane coming up, I think it's going to be really good. I've pretty much got everything already set up to put on a nice show for it, so hopefully we'll have a lot of people sign up for it. I know the Megane trophy car is a mean little car to drive around the track.
Yes, definitely.
It is, yeah,
The trophy is pretty much a small version of the Ferrari.
yes,
Lots of power, not a lot of weight, too early on the throttle, and you're gone.
yeah, I mean, it literally does drive kind of like a big go-kart.
Yeah,
You can really put it into the turns and get the power down and just come flying out of there. Oh, is Flip? Oh, he almost was going for the move around Dr. Fiend.
He thought about it. He definitely thought about it, but didn't go through.
I
Dr.
think
Fiend definitely has an amazing straight line speed. I mean, even with Flip now behind him, they just can't not get the cut.
Oh! I was just fixing to say, I think Flip had really put a lot of pressure on Dr. Fiend, though, when he tucked around the outside and kind of really showed himself to him. It just kind of saying, you know, hey, I'm right behind you, and I'm going to go for a move any time here if you leave the door open. But that was very important for Dr. Fiend right there.
I'm just gonna stay out of this one. I'm not gonna say the first one. I do think I did, but I'm not gonna say it.
Well, we do have our commentator's curse.
Oh, and somebody else is around there.
Oh, we are. Where are we? We are on lap 56 of the 59. Bowie,
49.
yeah. Fatigue should really start to be setting in. For me, it's usually the last few laps on the long race that I really get my good second wind and can really buckle down and get myself refocused.
Yes. First few laps for me are always very interesting because you're still together with everyone. And then maybe from like lap 5, lap 6 on, I start to lose a little bit of my focus. Still putting in laps, but losing the guys up front, losing the guys in the back as well, and just driving myself. But still, just losing my concentration a little bit, and also the fatigue getting a little bit. And then final 7 laps, focus gets back in. It's almost over. Come on, last few moments, and then trying to get something done. And I think that's just what happened right now. And Dr. Fiend obviously saw the pressure that Flip was putting in. And we tried to stay in the front, but it took me a little bit too early on the power on that high hill. I went up and just spun it around. Still a very good race, nonetheless, from Dr. Fiend, of course. 6th position. Very good finish from him. As he's now looking at faster, and here's our chef now battling it out for the final podium spot. Now, since it's the final 9 laps now that we're racing, I think I'm gonna start looking at the driver of the day, Stu.
Yeah, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There we go. It looks like... Hold on. Let's see if this comes back up here, y'all. It looks like I may have finally... There we go. The poll for voter driver of the day has actually started. Y'all give me 1 second, and I'll have that up on screen and let y'all know who you can vote for.
Huh.
It took me the whole time to make this freaking robot work, but with enough choking, y'all see that. Get your hands around the robot's neck, and you gotta squeeze really, really hard for a long time, and then he will finally work. Poll for the driver of the day is up. The commands work just like they do for the commands in the Discord. Exclamation vote, and then simply type Chef, Manic, Snaker, or K-Morse behind it, and your vote should register, and it should come up on the graphics on the screen. And I'm actually gonna try this myself and see if
Oh, me too.
I'm gonna try to vote, and this should potentially have the magic 8-ball up there working as well. I may have to choke this robot just a little bit more. Nope, look at there. Nope, robot just went off and says that your vote did count, Bowie.
Yeah, all right.
There we go. So yeah, there we go. Yep, and it just showed up on screen. Chef has 1 vote. So yeah, everybody watching, quick, get your votes in here while I've got this robot choked to death and it is working.
Yes.
Oh, because if it stops working, I'm going to grab my computer and start choking it. K-Morse, you can vote for yourself, yes. Actually, K-Morse, I am probably also going to vote for you as well. He was running a really good race. I have to give it to him. He was running a great race.
But he didn't finish it.
He didn't finish it, but he was running a good race. And the driver of the day is all about giving some of the drivers not on the podium some recognition for the talent that they have and the work that they put into it.
I'm gonna be honest, one of the drivers that I probably would have given drive of the day is not in the top or in the 40 you put in.
Well, I mean, I can only check this robot so much, you know. Next week we'll get a little bit better of a list on here.
I'm not gonna lie. I voted for Chef because I do think that Chef has put in an amazing race. Really battled very good. But I do think that I would definitely put Faster up there as well. Oh, I actually see a touch there from Faster.
Oh,
against Chef. Now Faster, being the gentleman that he is, knew it was his fault, so he gave the position back. That was very interesting to see. Just a very late move, I think, on Chef, and it just didn't work.
all right. K-Morse, your vote didn't work because you used a capital S and you just put in snake. You'll actually have to put in the lowercase s and spell out Snaker, S-N-A-K-E-R, and it should work for you. Oh, look at there. And Evan just put in his vote. Look at
Yeah.
Bowie, it seems I may have choked this robot enough. I'm telling you, Sig was awesome and stayed up very late with me last night working with this.
And in the meantime, Pete doesn't know how to spell vote, so this is also good. Sorry.
Yeah, Pete, you actually have to spell the whole vote, not V-O-T.
Yeah.
But no, y'all, we're having fun messing with y'all, and I really appreciate y'all's patience with me on getting these bots to work, because this is totally on me if it works or doesn't work. And picking on y'all is really
with your shit because we can't do it ourselves. So
yeah. And I'm picking on y'all so that I don't start crying on air because they didn't work. Y'all know how it is. If I can't laugh, I gotta cry. And y'all don't want to hear that. Believe me, y'all do not want to hear a 45-year-old grown man crying in the middle of a broadcast because he can't get a robot to work. It does not get any more pathetic than that. Well, I mean, I guess it could a little bit. I could put it on video and make y'all watch it and hear it.
Yeah.
But,
you could just make the clip of you making the bot, start getting emotional about it, and then switch it to your woodworking thing, where you just cut up some wood and make something beautiful while you're crying.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah. That's a new video idea.
Yeah. And apparently the 8-ball, you see this, don't you, Bowie? Just for everybody that is not watching the chat, I just pulled the I8-ball command, asked him if he is working, and his response is, I would say no, LOL.
Oh, that's beautiful. A sassy robot. Love it.
Oh, just wait till the stream is over. I get my hands on this robot.
I mean, I need to ask him now in the chat.
We have Stephanie in the chat voting for her man Chef, and it should hopefully, Stephanie, if it doesn't work for you, just take out the space between the exclamation and the word vote, and it should work. If it doesn't, but it does take the robot just a second for it to acknowledge. Oh, and there's Bowie. He's gonna ask the 8-ball if it likes me. Oh, and see what you get, Bowie? That is what you get. You get told the answer is within yourself and called a tryhard.
I got roasted by a bot. I'm not happy about this.
Yeah, you just got roasted by, but we're all getting roasted by the robot.
We are all getting roasted. Yes, we are.
But Stephanie, if your vote doesn't go through and work, I know you voted, and we'll count it towards Chef. So yeah, so far we're basically looking at Chef has got about 60% of the votes. Manic has 0. Snaker has 20% of our votes, and K Morris has 40% of our votes. And I'm gonna keep working with all these bots and everything, and because there is a way we can set these up I believe, so that y'all can actually use these commands directly from the Discord chat, as well as on the stream chat.
But this is a good question to ask to the 8
Oh,
ball.
and yep, Stephanie just got her vote in, so yeah, her vote kicked on in for Chef.
Well, I think that just answered my question. I asked the 8 ball if Faster would get past Chef, and he spun it around.
Oh yeah,
And
well I don't know.
time,
8 ball said it felt good though.
Not sure, feels good, man. So I'm gonna blame this one on the bot.
You can blame. Oh, that's a cop out. That is a cop out. But y'all, we are down to Bow. We've got down to 5 minutes within, or 5 laps, sorry, of this race, and I think though it's safe to say that everyone is going to enjoy some of these bots and everything. So I will keep working with them. I'll come up with some great answers for the 8 ball. These are the stock answers. I do get to put in my own answers if I want to.
Oh,
so
yes.
We'll have some quotes coming up, so y'all be careful what you put on the Discord. I may steal your comment for a quote that people can bring up on the air.
Yes. I love that.
I'll keep messing with this, and so we can have a lot of fun on here.
Now, to be honest, when Faster was just battling with Chev, I legit asked it if it would get past Chev, and it literally said not sure. And as soon as it did that, Faster spun. So
you can blame the robot for that. Yeah.
Oh, Pete's happy that he voted.
Yep, Pete's got his vote in for Chef. So far we've got, what do we have here? We've got Chef with 50% of the votes, Snaker with 16, and K-Morse with 33.33. That is such an odd number. Oh, yeah. So now we all know that next time my robot does not work right, that I just need to really just reach inside my computer, choke the devil out of that poor thing, and then put it back in its box. Yeah, everybody in the chat, I'm glad to see y'all are enjoying the 8 ball and the voting. I think it is pretty cool. Yeah, and Ransdorf also getting his vote in. But Ransdorf, Agulator is not on the poll for the driver of the day. The graphic on the screen in the bottom right hand corner there will show you can vote for Chef, Manic, Snaker, or K-Morse. And these will keep getting rotated around as the weeks go on. And Bowie is just having too much fun with this 8 ball, y'all. I may have to put him on a cooldown. The 8 ball's nice. That's why I put it on there. I thought everyone would have a lot of fun with the 8 ball.
No, I legit asked it if is Jukebox good at making robots, and it says, "Are you joking?"
Yeah. Oh, it's got great answers. It really does. It really does. And 2 laps down, Allo Champs with this up to almost a 40-second lead over Agulator. I'm blown away by that. Allo Champs has come out of there and ran one hell of a race today.
Yeah, definitely.
And Pete, I agree with you too. Agulator's putting up a hell of a fight as well.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, just
I gotta give credit where credit is given. I mean, Allo Champs just absolutely nailed his strategy. He was down in the top 5s maybe for the longest time until the other guys stopped for the 1-stops, and then afterwards had a probably more than 1 minute gap. Came in, pitted, had 20 seconds left to spare, and now back up to 36.5 seconds. That is just amazing.
Yeah, and everybody watching, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't. Next week, I will have a sub counter up here. My goal is still to get us to 1,000 subs at the end of the season. We're halfway. We just crossed the 800 mark, so it's getting really close to getting there. We just need to keep it up, keep up the drivers. They don't have anything to keep up. They do great every week. I particularly have to keep up and get back on the ball and keep doing a good job for y'all. Maui, there's nothing for you to make up. You always do a great job, but yeah, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you want.
And the bell.
I mean, I don't have
And
that many feelings, and we know I have no shame. You can smash the hell out of that dislike button if you want.
if you
Not-
do, I'll make sure that the 8-ball slaps you.
I was going to say, I'm not saying if you do hit it that a robot may not give you a nasty message. I'm just saying you're free to hit it if you want to. Alright, so Bowie, I'm going to be quiet for a second because I've got caught up laughing so hard that I have neglected to get our podium ready. And everyone, I'm going to give y'all just one more second to finish up voting for driver of the day, and then we will close the poll and it will announce who our driver of the day is. And I'm gonna bust my butt real quick, and I've got to get our podium done. So who do we have? We've got
Hello champs, Egulator, and here's our chef currently on the podium. In the meantime, we still have a great battle going on for 5th position. We've got Dr. Fiend and Flip less than a second behind each other. And then we also have Marcus and Hiker who are less than a second behind each other. So there's still 2 battles going on in the final lap of this race. So this is going to be very interesting to keep an eye off. I mean, Hello Champ is now getting past the finish line, so he's going to start his final lap now. And in the meantime, right behind him, we have Flip trying to get to Dr. Fiend to get the top 5 spot. He's been behind Dr. Fiend for the last 10, 15 laps or something. So I don't know what's going to happen in the last lap, to be honest. I think they might not get it, but in the end, Flip is a very difficult driver to battle against, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've had the chance to half work with him in the 24-hour race that GAVRA Racing hosted, I think last year. And I gotta say, that guy is amazing to battle with. He is very fast, great guy in the setups. And I'm not one of the guys you want to be battling with, because mostly like other guys in here, he does not give you any space. He will make the clean move when he can, but he's not gonna get it that easily. I mean, he will get past, for sure. Whenever you're battling with him, he will get past. He's going to use every inch that he can, on and off track. And in the meantime, we're coming through the final turns right now. Hello Champ's coming up to the final turn right now. Absolutely bossed his strategy. This is the race, ladies and gentlemen. 59 laps from the halfway point. Absolutely nailed it. Coming up to the finish line now, Hello Champs wins the Portugal Grand Prix of the Ferrari Championship for GAVRA Racing. Amazing job. Amazing job. Nothing else to say. It's an amazing job.
I agree. This has been one hell of a race, and if for everyone not looking in the chat, it'll be on the graphics at the end, but our bot did just notify us that Chef won the vote for driver of the day with 50% of the votes. So great job for Chef for getting the driver of the day, and it looks like he's also gonna pull off the 3rd position.
Yeah, yes he is. In the meantime, Marcus and Heike are now getting past the finish line. Marcus did not get past the Swede. There's still a very good finish from Marcus in 8th position. In the meantime, Manic and Red is off again. That is not good. Red losing another few positions there, dropping down to 12th. He did not have a very good second part of this race. He was all the way up in 1st, maybe even 2nd, somewhere around there, and just good strategy screwed him over. A little bit of damage screwed him over, I think, and it was all downhill from there. Very bad for Brad. Feel very sorry for him. Had a very good race.
Yeah, his start was absolutely insane. He had a hell of a start to the race.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Red still props to him to keeping the car on track, still finishing the race. I mean, to be fair, we started with 14 people, we ended with 13. And all because that one person got disconnected because of a Project Cars glitch. That's very good to see. That is very good to see.
Yeah, I believe all in all, we had a really good race tonight.
And here we go. Final standings from the race. Champs take the win with 46 seconds to Egulator. He's our Chef, having a very good race in 3rd. Faster climbed all the way back up into 4th position. But Devine, a very good race in 5th position. Flip also crawling back up through the field in 6th. Hiker also very good finish from the Swede in 7th. Marcus, the Flying Dutchman, very good in 8th. And ID4 and Manic rounding out the top 10. And Snaker in 11th, Red in 12th with not the best of races that he would have wanted to. And then in 13th position, the other Dutchman, Mike, rounding it up. And that is your complete field.
Yeah,
And of course, to mention K-Morse, who was doing a very good race until he got disconnected.
Yeah, K-Morse was having a really good race until, excuse me, yeah, he suffered from that. That was pretty bad. I felt pretty bad for him because he was having a really good race. He's drove his ass off this season, and we talked about at the beginning of the season how talented K-Morse actually is. He fights really hard. He's extremely talented on track.
Definitely.
But
yeah,
Alachamps though, Bowie, I don't understand how that happened still. Alachamps with the first place there, and the gap that he had managed to build, and we did decide he ran a 2 pit stop strategy, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen in this championship yet somebody with a 2-stopper actually win the race.
I don't think we have either. It's been primarily the 1 stops. The 2s have been close. They've been in the top 5, but never on the actual podium yet.
No.
Which, I mean, that says a lot about Alochamp's pace tonight. He was really on top of it, because that means he actually had to make up almost an entire lap over the other drivers to keep that gap.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, looking back at the standings that we have right now, Alochamps is having a great championships season so far. He got second, and then somewhere out of the top 10, I believe. Second once again in the first 4 races. Second 4 races was a win, a win in the second, and now back up to a win. So there's been 1 race so far where he did not finish on the podium. That is a very good drive. That's a very good season there.
Oh, yeah, he has. All the drivers have really been killing it this season. I mean, like tonight, Chef with the 3rd place. At the beginning of the season, he struggled a little bit with the car, had a hard time getting a handle on it. But after the first couple of races, he got a great handle on the car, and has been pulling off some really good races ever since. And yeah, landed himself in the 3rd place position tonight, along with driver of the day.
Yeah,
but I think Red, I mean, I feel really bad for K-Morse, but I believe Red is the driver who I feel the worst for tonight. The first part of the race was absolutely fantastic. He had a great performance.
Yes. Absolutely great race. I mean, he was either up into 1st or in 2nd or both at some point. I don't know. And then from the pit stops on, it just went downhill. It's terrible. Terrible. I mean, especially, like you said, for K-Morse as well. I mean, you're doing a good race. You have the good pace. You have a good position. And then to drop out of a race, not even on your behalf, but because of a Project Cars 2 issue.
Yeah,
that is just
that's what makes it really so bad. We've got Pete in the chat congratulating the podium winners and telling us how great of a job we did.
Thank you.
I think the robot might have done a better job than me, or at least it was more entertaining there at the end. Anyway, I think I'm gonna stay up tonight and have me a little talk with my robot.
I think that is fair to say. That yeah.
And I know, just to answer everyone's question, I am not sharing my robot with Joe. I'm gonna be greedy and hog this one all to myself.
Yep.
So Joe, no, don't you go trying to message my bot. This is not Me6. This is my own bot.
I mean, Joe's already married to Joanna now, so there's nothing that he may do anymore.
True.
Yeah.
And well, Bowie, I guess I'm just gonna tell everyone to, once again, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Go to the website. There's tons of stuff coming up. I don't know exactly what the administrators have planned for next season. I'm not on that inside loop. All I know that it is once again going to be a huge growing uh, place for GAVRA Racing. We had that over the last 2 seasons since we changed over the Discord. We changed to the Discord. We grew a lot. Got that season done. The administrators worked really hard. We grew a lot again. And I believe that is exactly what they have in store for us for the next season. So y'all keep an eye out. It's gonna be interesting. And Bowie, I will leave it with you. And just thanks from me, and Bowie, thank you from me for being here and doing this with me every week. And I'll shut up now.
All right. Well, pretty much Jukebox rounded it up all anyway. I mean, go to our website, gavracing.altavista.org, for all the information of every championship we have. Dirt, Project Cars 2, Formula 1 2019, and GT Sport now starting next week. So if you're driving on that and you would like to start some league racing with probably a few of the best drivers I've seen on Project Cars or PlayStation, be sure to do that as well. We'll be back tomorrow for the GT3 race around Spa, which is, I believe, an endurance race, so longer than usual. Monday we have the Formula 1, I believe, again. And Thursday we have the Ferraris again. Wednesdays is the Ginettas. And I believe that's the whole schedule. Somewhere around there. I'm not sure. And then, of course, Thursdays the academies. So, like I said, be sure to keep out on the website for any information, or go to our Discord to talk with everyone as well and see how good you are. Join some fun lobbies, join the leagues, chat to everyone for some help, whatever you need. And like I said, tune in tomorrow for the GT3 race to support us, both Jukebox and I. Again, Jukebox, also thank you for being here and streaming it again. And we will see you all in the next stream. Bye-bye, everyone.